he must just be a gift to play.
No, definitely. And also to have it come so out of the blue, and at a time where I was thinking a lot of different things about myself in terms of my career, thinking like maybe I should kind of hide for a minute. Suddenly I was shooting the last Twilight movie and had 3 weeks left, and suddenly this comes up to go immediately onto, and I really wanted to do an ensemble thing or something where or a tiny part. That's what I was looking for, and suddenly this thing comes up where it's in every single scene and is incessantly speaking, but also something which is so individual, and the writing was on such a higher level than I'd seen it since I've started acting, basically.
Yeah, it's the opposite of hiding and the opposite of doing a small part. I mean, thematically, if we could kind of look at the movie that way, because there's some huge themes here, which is really exciting to see in a film this big. I mean, things like time, money, sex, death.
No one ever mentions time. That's what the whole thing I thought about was. It's just about time.
Absolutely, the zeptoseconds, the yoctoseconds, and that fantastic line you have about, once upon a time I was the youngest person, and now.
God, you really like that. That's so cool. That's amazing.
Seriously.
No, yeah. That's like. It's funny. That's why you do it. I mean, it's doing something like this where my initial thought about it was it's like, oh God, I hope people will get it, because I really got it on like a sort of visceral level as soon as I read it, but couldn't explain it to anybody at all. And at Cannes, I was thinking, oh, no one's gonna. And no one was really laughing. And I was like, why is no one laughing? This is funny. But yeah, I'm so glad that seeing some of the reactions that came out, it was really quite passionate reactions about it, which is great. At least there's some people who still want to watch movies like this.
So it's kind of a film, watching it, I almost can't imagine it being shot by a crew. It just seems so sort of hermetically its own thing. How was it as a set to work on?
It barely was. Well, yeah, I mean, that's one of the weird things. I mean, David's whole thing about camera placement, and also just how the set was set up. I mean, you couldn't see anything outside, and the camera was on a crane that was remote controlled, and also a lot of the shots were 8 inches in front of my face, and so you kind of had a totally different relationship with the camera, which it took a little while to get used to. So I mean, I didn't envy the other actors who only had 2 or 3 days to come in for their sequences, but you had a totally different relationship with the camera, where normally you're trying to reach the person who's looking through it, but on this you're literally doing it to a machine. You kind of lose the connection, the human connection, which I thought was really interesting, and it felt really safe. It's like being underwater doing it.
Safe isn't a word I would expect to hear applied to this film. Did you feel you were in sort of a kind of safe pair of hands with David?
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's kind of, you can, I remember looking up his score on Rotten Tomatoes before he did it, because I didn't know how to do it at all at the beginning, and when I looked at his score, he was literally 98% or something, average. And I was thinking no matter what, it's going to be something. And that's the whole thing. His movies have such a strong identity as well. It's never just going to be a series of events filmed with some music put over the top. It's always going to be a movie at the end, and whether people like it or hate it, it's always a self-concluding thing.
And just finally, because I think we're running out of time, do you have a favourite David Cronenberg film now, or is maybe this?
I really love this one, but I think also there's something really new about it, and even in terms of his stuff. But I love Dead Ringers. That's one of my favourite movies, and the Scanners I really like as well. But it's funny, and that's the cool thing about Cronenberg movies as well, because I saw a couple of reviews that said that trying to imply that it's kind of pretentious, and it's if there's one thing that, I mean, David's almost incapable of making them. I mean, some of his movies are bordering on being a B movie. I mean, he's not a pretentious filmmaker at all. But I don't know. There's something. I think there's something really special about it. I'm so happy. I'm kind of I did it, and that people will get it.